Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our session today. My name is Dottie Vance, and I'll be taking you through today's training. I am joined virtually by some of my colleagues who are going to help speak up during our Q&A period to help provide clarity when we need it on a topic that we're going to be discussing today. In addition, I have Monica, who is my producer for today. She's on the call. She's going to help monitor the chat and make sure we get all your questions answered and just make sure that we run smoothly today. To increase transparency and provide greater service to our stakeholders, we are recording this webinar, and it will be posted to our website sometime after, hopefully by this afternoon, if not tomorrow. So you can review it in the future, and for those who maybe weren't able to join today's call. I also want to point out that this is the first session of 2 that'll go over the same content that we're doing today, which is the new CAISO website overview webinar training. The other session is going to be on May 29th at 10 a.m. PT time, and it's going to be the identical information that we're covering today. So if you've attended today, you do not need to attend session 2. Additionally, the slides are posted on our Learning Center under new modules, as well as Mo is going to put a link in the chat to these slides. If we update anything on these slides over the next 2 sessions that we're doing, we will be sure to publish the new slides to this Learning Center, as well as send it out to you all. Now, before we continue and talk about the training today, which is the new CAISO website, I do want to go over some housekeeping with you today. So the first thing is, when you were entered in the call, you have been placed on mute. Please remain on mute. It's just going to help us with our background noise and making sure we run smoothly this morning. There are going to be designated stopping points for question and answer. We have a few, as well as a larger Q&A forum. So you have 2 options to answer your questions. You can either enter it in the chat, the WebEx chat, by typing it, and then we'll read it out loud and get you that answer. Or if you want to verbally ask your question, you're able to use the raised hand icon in WebEx, and that's going to alert to us that you do have a question. We'll call on you, and you can verbally ask that question. So now that we've gone over the housekeeping for today, we're all excited. Let's talk about the agenda. So what we're going to be talking about in this training this morning. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to do a recap, a review of the important details as it relates to the new website. We'll talk about the roadmap and the journey for how we've gotten here today. The next thing we'll cover together is we're going to look at the previous website, and we're going to compare it to the new website just to get the look and feel and get you familiar with things that are changing. Then we're going to have a demonstration. So I'll pull up the new website. We'll click on some pages. You can ask us questions, and we're just going to get you, again, comfortable, a little bit familiar with the new website. I'll talk about some resources that we're going to have available as well when we do launch on May 30th. And then at the end, we have a question and answer, so we can ask questions and get you those answers. We're also going to be compiling all the questions and answers that we get today into a knowledge article that we're going to be sending out as well. And then I'll talk about the wrap up, so the next steps after this training. So now that we have the agenda, let's jump right into it. Let's go over the review of the important details related to the new website launch. So to give you some background, we provided a roadmap to the new CAISO website, kind of talking about how we've gotten from A to B. So the ISO is unveiling its new website on Thursday, May 30th. And this is several years of staff's hard work and commitment to creating a transparent online resource that meets the needs of our stakeholders, regulatory bodies, and overall the general public. So the way that we've done this is we've had internal discussions on this enhancement, figuring out, okay, what will this new website look like? How can we make this the best user experience? We've also leveraged feedback from stakeholders. So taking what we learned in our internal discussions, taking what we learned from stakeholders as well, we wanted to make sure that the new website really addressed the business needs for our market participants and also enhances that transparency. And that's something you'll see as we go through the slides and the demo today. So through these conversations, it's led us to realizing, yes, we do need to modernize the website features, that it's time for this refresh. We want to really focus and promote that enhanced transparency. So bringing the most needed topics to the surface. You'll see things like a home page that can support multiple messaging, a robust library, which is very exciting, and I can't wait to show you that in a demo. You'll also notice improved page layouts and additional design functionalities. So you'll see it's very user-friendly, as well as it goes to mobile device friendly. So whether it's an iPhone, a tablet, you name it, it's going to be able to translate well on those devices, which at the core of it, again, goes back to why we're doing this, to enhance the efficiency and transparency of our users. We want this new website to be extremely helpful and you're able to find things quickly. And I'm excited to go over that with you today. So now that we understand why we're here, where we've come from, let's talk about some important key dates that I think will be of importance for you to remember. So currently, you'll see here that we have on the 23rd, we're doing our first external training. Next week on the 29th will be session 2. Again, it's identical information that we're going over today. So if you attended today's session, you do not need to attend the 29th unless you really want to, and then of course you can attend. The other thing you'll note on the 29th is I just wanted to put a note about our cutover impacts. So on the 29th, you could experience in the evening some performance issues, could impact as we are launching that website on the 30th. We will be releasing a notice on the 28th that's going to detail a little bit more details about what that looks like. For example, it'll talk about how we won't be releasing a daily briefing on the 29th, and I'll have more details there for you. You'll see the next day on the 30th, we launch our new website. And then after the 30th, we have something called a post-launch. So this will be our continued support. If you have questions or if you find issues, we definitely will be helping through the city or the Contact Us page. Additionally, I want to call attention to the new website's URL. So the new website will be taking over that CAISO.com address. And we will keep the previous website up as an archive for 30 days. So it will remain available for users until June 30th. So now that we've gone over some key upcoming dates, I just want to also mention a few other impacts to consider. So just for your awareness, the really simple syndication, that RSS, is going to be decommissioned. However, you are able to find the same messaging on our subscriptions page on the new website, which I will show you what that looks like here in the demo. Additionally, as we're going through this today, and I show you the previous website compared to the new website, and we go through the demo, just think about how we will want to encourage you to update your bookmarks. So we have some resources that will help you in this. We have a crosswalk document, which I'll get to here in a little bit, but it'll just help you and highly encourage you to update those bookmarks that you have. So now that we've gone over the impacts, we talked about some key dates. I do want to jump into comparing the previous CAISO website to the new CAISO website. At the end, when I'm done comparing these two things, we'll have a question and answer period where you can ask your questions. And then after that, I'll pull up the new website and we can get into our demo. Okay, so starting right off, if you were to pull up the CAISO website right now, it would look something like this. So this is, I'll refer to the website as the previous CAISO website. So you'll see we have a utility navigation at the top. We have a main navigation. So that utility navigation has things like the calendar, today's Outlook, just quick links to click and go to those different platforms. You'll see we have the main navigation, which has like About Us, Participate, Stay Informed, and those are drop-down menus for folks to go to different pages. If we were to compare this to the new website, it's going to look similar in the sense that we have the utility navigation and we have the main navigation, but you'll notice that the titles are going to be slightly different. So again, going back to user experience and making things clear for users, you'll see that the utility navigation has systems and applications. So we've brought that out rather than being a little bit buried on our previous website. So that'll house things like user access, portals, release planning, and I'll show you that in the demo. We have that feature called the library, which will have our recent documents page as well as a topics page. We have meetings and events, so that houses things like our calendar, the events, meetings, which again, I'll show you that in the demo. Our daily briefing is not experiencing any changes, so that will be familiar for you. And then you'll see our main navigation has very similar titles. So you see About, we have Stakeholder Center, Generation and Transmission, Market and Operations, and Legal and Regulatory. So now that we did a high level, I want to dive a little bit deeper into each of the sections and compare it to the new website just so we can get a better familiarity with what's changing. So starting first on our previous website, if you were to start in order, we could look at the About Us section. You'll see it has pages like our business, our leadership, news. All these pages will be moving over to our new website. They just might have slightly different titling, which I'll show you what that looks like here. And for an example, to compare to the new website, if you were to click our leadership on the previous website, it'll bring you to a page that looks like this. So it'll give you a recap of our leadership page. It'll show photos of leadership as well as the organizational chart. If you scroll down, you'll find more information as well. Now, if you were to look at the page, Our Leadership, on the new website, it's going to look something like this. So instead of being under that About Us section, it's now going to be under the About. You'll see Our Leadership is still there for you to select, as well as Our Business, Careers, Newsroom. I also want to point out before we click on Our Leadership that we have enhanced the new website with hyperlinks. So again, bringing things to the surface, making it super easy for users to click on things and navigate through the website. You'll notice on each of these sections, we have some type of hyperlink that will be important for users to use, or they use it often. So it's just easy clicks for you to get to that information. So going back to the example, if we go to the About Our Leadership, the page will look a little different. You'll see here on the screen, it's a little bit more spread out. You'll see that we have now more information about our leadership. So whether it be the executive team, the Board of Governors, WEIN governing body, it'll have information there, a little laid out better for the eye. I also want to point out some on-page navigator features. So you'll notice in the top right, we have On This Page. So this is basically a table of contents for you and the high-level key points that are going to be on this page. So you'll know on the Our Leadership page, you can find information about that executive team, Board of Governors, and the WEIN governing body. What's awesome is you're able to click on these titles. So if you came on the page and you were like, I do want to know more about the governing body, you could click that, and it'll automatically take you to that section on that page. So instead of having to scroll down and figure out what's on a page, you'll have that little table of contents, that on-page navigator that'll help you and assist you. Additionally, as you scroll down the page or as you're brought down to a new section, you're going to notice another on-page navigator. So it says Back to Top on the bottom right corner and On This Page. Very similarly, you're able to either click on this page to go to a different section that can be found on this page, or you can click Back to Top, and instead of having to scroll all the way to the top, this will bring you automatically there. And this will be on all the pages on the new website, and I can show you that in the demo as well. So if we continue, so we just talked about the About Us, going to About, we now have Participate. So you'll notice when we did a high-level review of the new sections that Participate was not on the new website. I do want you to rest assured that the information under Participate will be moving over. It's just going to fit under different correlating topics. So for example, you'll see under Participate, we have Transmission. This is now going to be found on the new website under Generation and Transmission. So it's called out for you where that'll go. Another example, just to show you, is Application Access. So this should look familiar. You click on it, it gives you information about different applications, user access administrative guides, and so on, certificates, if you will. If you were to find this on the new website, again, bringing it forward for folks to find pretty quickly, it's now going to be under Systems and Applications. So you'll see this section has access to portals and applications, release planning, if you're looking for certificate information, or if you're a UAA, so the User Access Administrator. For this example, we were looking maybe for portals or applications. Maybe you're looking for a user guide that connects to an application. You'll click there, and it's going to bring you to a page that looks like this. So again, you'll see on this page, it tells you there's portals and applications. It's really interactive, so each little box on the screen, so for example, AIM, you could click on that, and you're going to find the correlating information, whether it be training information, user guides, how to access the application. They're all going to be organized by that application in their designated boxes. If we continue forward, now we're looking at the Stay Informed section. So it's going to be similar to Participate in the sense that you won't see Stay Informed as its own section on the new website. However, the information under this section will be moving to the new website, just might have slightly different name changes, which I'll show you here in just a moment. So for example, you'll see that we have a few things that relate to the stakeholder process. So we have the policy initiatives and the recurring stakeholder process. On the new website, you'll be able to find those two things under Stakeholder Center, and you'll see that it's called out here, policy initiatives, recurring processes. Again, you'll see a hyperlink to participate with the ISO, and that's great information if you're wanting to get involved with the ISO. Additionally, you'll see something called the Training Center. So currently on our previous website, it's called the Learning Center, and now it'll be named the Training Center, which I'll show you in the demo what that looks like as well. Continuing on, we now are looking at the two sections, Planning and Markets and Operations, from our previous website. So you'll notice that Planning is going to be relocated and organized to fit under Generation and Transmission, so that content will be found under there. And then Markets and Operations will continue over to have its own section on the new website. Going back to feedback that we have received, so for reports and bulletins, you'll notice on the previous website that you're able to find that under several sections. And just to help folks be able to identify and find reports and bulletins quicker, they have been moved to the library, which I'm really excited to show you that feature here during the demo. I'll show you how you can search for things and what that looks like. And then just to show you what it looks like on the new website, you'll see the sections Generation and Transmission. You'll notice Generation, Transmission, all set information under that section. You'll also notice on the previous website, there was a page called Reliability Requirements, and that's now going to be housed under Resource Adequacy just for your awareness. Again, we're not expecting you to memorize all of these changes. We did create some documents that are going to help you along the way. And then you'll also see Markets and Operations. You'll see things like today's Outlook, Settlement, Scheduling Coordinator, as well as those hyperlinks that we talked about in the other sections as well. So the last things I want to talk about before we stop for a Q&A and then go into the demo is the Rules section and the ISO in Espanol. So the Rules section is going to continue over as a new name for Legal and Regulatory. This is a great example that I think we can point out about how we're bringing topics to the surface, and again, going back to that user friendliness. So for example, if maybe you were newer to this website, it's your first time logging in, and you were looking for some light reading and you wanted to read the tariff on a nice afternoon, you could come to Rules and you could figure out, okay, where am I going to find the tariff? Could it be under regulatory? That seems right. I think you could make an argument for it being under requirements and guidelines, maybe compliance. After you did some digging, you realized, yes, it is under regulatory, and that's where I'll find the tariff. But on our new website, it's going to be a little bit more straightforward for you. So again, you'll see under Legal and Regulatory, you'll find the tariff right there for you, and you can read to your heart's desire to learn all about the ISO tariff. I also want to mention, you'll notice that the ISO in Espanol is currently not on our new website. Later on, once we launch, we can see if we need to add different parts of our website in Spanish, and we'll just take that as we go. So now that we've gone through very high level, different sections, we compared it to our previous website, you're getting a little bit more familiar with the new website. I do want to assure you that we've created some resources for you. So we've created a crosswalk document, and this is a living document, so we can update it as needed. But this spreadsheet will tell you the page that you're looking for, how you found it on that previous path. So again, you can go back, the website will be available as an archive for 30 days. So that previous path, and then how you can find it going forward on the new website. There's also some screenshots on that crosswalk document that has the color coding, so you could follow along to see, okay, that's where the utility navigation is, that's where I'll find it here. And it'll be really helpful when we do launch that website for you to go back and look at, especially as you're updating your bookmarks. So I want to pause here before I pull up the new website to do a demonstration. And I want to see what questions folks have about what we just covered. Again, I will be pulling up the website. I'll be walking through some more pages for you, get you a little bit more familiar, and then we'll have a larger Q&A portion that will open up. But I'll pass it over to you, Mo, to see what questions we currently have.
Hey, Dottie, we got a few questions that did come in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and read them out, and we did get some answers for them. First one is from David. His question states that, are the links to specific documents staying the same? For example, are footnotes in the CPUC documents that link to the CAISO docs going to work, or will they be broken? The response to that one is the paths to specific documents will be the same. David, does that answer your question? I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next question. This one came in from Maria. Maria asks, is anything changing in the portals? The answer to that is no, nothing is changing in the portals. The next question is from Chris. And his question is, will the content of the archive website be frozen, or will it be updated in sync with the new website? The answer to that is it will be frozen. We will not be posting new materials to the old site once the new site has been launched. And I believe those are all the questions that I see in the chat. I'm also looking to see if we have any hands raised at this time, Dottie. I'm not seeing anything in the hands raised. And again, if you would like to ask your question, please feel free to unmute yourself and use the hands raised icon. Outside of that, Dottie, I do not see any additional questions. Back to you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mo. So I do want to confirm really quickly with you, Mo. Are you seeing the new website on my screen?
Yes, I see it. I see the website.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So now we're going to go into the demo portion. So I wanted to pull up the new website to get you a little familiar with the layout and how it looks, and we'll dig a little bit deeper into some of these pages. So this is our home screen. You'll notice right now we have an article that's published. This can change depending on the content that we're covering for that specific day. You're also going to notice on our website, we have options to put buttons on our homepage. So the two that we have currently are welcome to the new website. So once we launch, you'll be able to access all of the training that we went over today, as well as the resources like the crosswalk and a few other things. You'll be able to click this button and it's going to redirect you to that training center. So again, the training center is previously named the Learning Center. So this is similar, it's going to be the same information. You'll notice we have upcoming meetings, so it'll have trainings that are coming up. We have training topics. You'll see different paths. So whether it's markets and operations, maybe you want to learn more about settlements and metering. And then we also have releases, initiatives, and readiness notes, which you'll be able to click. And it'll show you the content similar to how you found it on the previous website. You'll notice upcoming meetings will populate once we do have some that relate to releases and initiatives. And then you can go through and look at the different content as it relates to that topic. And then our readiness notes are at the bottom. I did just want to show you the feature. If you look at the bottom right-hand screen, you'll see that my mouse is on back to the top. And instead, again, of scrolling all the way to the top, I'm able to click that button and it'll automatically move me there. So if we go back to the home screen, the other button is access to the previous website. So if you click that, it's going to bring you back to the archived website. Again, it'll be up for 30 days. You'll be able to go back and look at things. Like it was mentioned, no new content will be posted to the archived website. It is just going to be for an archive to go back and look. If you scroll down on the homepage of the website, you'll see we have today's Outlook. So this information will look similar to what it does on our previous website. You'll be able to click View Today's Outlook and get a deeper dive of that content. If we continue to scroll down, you'll see Upcoming Calendar. So this is a great feature to show you, okay, what's happening at the ISO today, what sessions, trainings, meetings, what's going on. You're able to click through and see, okay, these are the meetings that are happening. And I'll show you here in a bit what that calendar also looks like. If we continue to scroll down, you'll see participating with the ISO. This is an interactive area. Again, it has hyperlinks that'll take you to different parts of our website, but just helps you get acquainted with how you get involved with the ISO, whether it be resource adequacy, RC West, products and services. You'll be able to click through, and this is also found under the Stakeholder Center. And then finally, if we keep scrolling down, you'll see that we have different articles that are available for you to read. And again, this can also change depending on what is going on. And then you can see we have different areas for registering for events. So you'll see registration for the Stakeholder Symposium is available for you to click on. As well as if you go to the bottom, just to recap the footer, you'll see we have California ISO. So we have some quick links for you to click on, related websites as well. So Oasis, RC Portal, as well as support to the Training Center, Developer Portal. And then at the bottom, I did want to point out, so we talked about the RSS going away and we have us having a subscription page. So at the bottom, you'll be able to click subscriptions, and it's going to give you all of that information that was previously given. So it'll have the daily briefing, news releases, you can subscribe to the Energy Matters blog, as well as maybe you're looking for emergency notifications, system operating messages. This page will have that information for you, as well as social media. So I'm going to go back to the home page, but the next thing I want to talk to you about is that library. So this is a great feature. It's going to house every document that is on the CAISO website. So when users are in search of a specific document, whether it's old or new, it's going to have a home here in the library. So if we go first to the recent documents, this should look very familiar to what we currently have on the previous website, except it's enhanced so you're able to search for different documents quicker. The recent documents houses all documents that were posted in the last 30 days, and you're able to either search by title, or you can scroll down to find the document you're looking for. You're also able to see what type of document it is. So you'll notice down here, it could be a report, it could be a CBT, a computer-based training. A new feature that we've added is topics. So I'll talk about that in just a moment. But this article or this document, this report, whatever it is, will be tied to a topic, so an overarching category. And then you're also able to see when it was posted, so you can guarantee which document you're looking for exactly. So yes, it is moving to our current website. Again, this is identical almost to what we have on our previous website, and it's going to be housed under library. The next area I'm going to show you, which will be new, is topics. So under library, you'll go to topics, and topics is going to be critical for users who wish to review all documents on the ISO website. They're going to be neatly grouped by featured topics, so you'll see this here. So whether you're interested in planning, the tariff, agreements, renewable reports, this page is going to have you covered with that information. There are two ways for you to search for topics. So you can either search it in the search field, or you can go the path of looking at the featured topics that we have available. And again, these are topics that folks use often, so we wanted to pull those to the surface so it's easier for you to click on. As an example, I'll search first for something, or we can search together. So maybe I'm looking for something with generation, and then you'll see that it gives me some options to choose from. Maybe I'm looking for something with a notice is maybe what I'm looking for. And yeah, I was looking for generation deliverability assessment notices. So as you type, it's going to filter out things for you to try to give you that topic that you're looking for. You'll go ahead and click it, and it's going to give you a list of documents. So you'll notice throughout the new website that we have great searchability. So you're able to search for the document you're exactly looking for, or you can filter for things. So you can look through and see, okay, what exact document am I looking for? You'll also notice that we do have a breadcrumb path. So if you were curious about what this is, you can go ahead and click it, and it's going to show you different folders that relate to that topic. So I just clicked on Stakeholder Initiative Relative Notices, and it's going to give me some relative notices, exactly what that title is. So if I wanted to learn more maybe about flexible capacity, I could click on that, and it's going to give me those that relate to it. If we go back to topics, so that's how you can search, and you can play around with that once we launch our website to look for documents. The other way you're able to find things is through the featured topics. So for example, maybe you're looking for a specific notice. So you would scroll down to news and notices and select notices. You'll see that we have it organized. And again, we are still building out the website to get some things ready for our launch. So you'll be able to click on a year that you're looking for specifically. Let's say for this example, we're looking at 2024. This will then lead us to looking at the month by year, which is great if maybe you know, okay, yes, my notice is in April. And then you're able to scroll through. Again, you can search or you can scroll to find that notice that you're looking for exactly. So that is our overview for the library and topics. Again, this is a great resource for you to use if you're looking for specific documents. You're also able to use our search feature at the top, but topics is a great area for you to start. The next thing I want to talk about is our meetings and events section. So you'll notice under here, we have calendar, events, and meetings. So let's start first with calendar. So off the bat, the calendar is very similar to our previous calendar. You'll see that we have the dates and information on the calendar for you to use. A great new feature that I do want to call attention to is our filters. So if you did not know this, on our previous website, we do have filters, but they're all the way at the bottom of the calendar. So they're going to be down here. When I was putting this training together, I did not even realize we had filters. So I thought this was a great enhancement for us to move the filters to the side so you're able to see exactly what you're looking for. So for example, maybe you're looking for a training and you don't want to look at meetings. You're able to unselect meetings and it's going to show you only trainings and events because I have it selected that are going to be showing. The same thing with the other categories. You're also able to search. So maybe I'm looking for training. It'll show me again for the month of May, the trainings that are available. Some other features just to call attention to is if you're not a month viewer and you prefer a list, you do have that functionality available. So you'll just have to go from month to list and click it, and you'll be able to filter that way for different events that are going on. Additionally, like the current calendar, it shows you the month view, and you'll just want to select through if you're looking maybe for a specific month. And then say you go too far, and instead of having to click all the way back, you'll just be able to click today, and it'll bring you right back to where you started. I also want to show you clicking on an event on the new calendar. So this is a pop-up that you'll get. It might look slightly different depending on if it's a training, a meeting, or event, but you'll see it has the title, the date and time, your event description, so whether it be WebEx information, maybe you have to pre-register like this example. And then we'll also have the related information. So on our previous calendar, you notice that we were able to do hyperlinks, and so it'll take you to a related page. And we'll still be able to do that on the new calendar. But now we're also able to add documents. So rather than you having to go search maybe for an agenda or a specific report, you're able to have it linked right here so you can click on the PDF and have access to it right away. Likewise, there's still the contact information. And then at the bottom, you'll see add to calendar, and that's how you'll just add it to your calendar. Also, it'll show you if the event is online, in person, what kind of format it's going to look like, so you can look up there to see that as well. So at a high level, this is what the calendar looks like. Again, once we launch, you're able to click through and see different areas. Again, add it to your calendar. You can see related information, the WebEx details, all of that information for you. And now the next thing I wanted to talk about is the events. So we just went over the calendar, and now we're going to go over events. And events are going to be those big events that are happening. So for example, this one here is the Stakeholder Symposium. So it has details about that event, how you register, where it's at, and all of that information will be located in events. Whereas meetings will have its own section, and you'll be able to, again, go to meetings and events. You'll select meetings. And this is going to house all of the meetings that are happening at the ISO. So the upcoming meetings at the top, just at a quick view if you were trying to see what's happening today. You're also able to redirect to the calendar if maybe that's what you were actually looking for or wanted to dive a little bit deeper there. You're also able to search meetings by topic. So whether it be the categories button, you can select and filter. This is alphabetical, so you could decide to scroll down and figure out, okay, what am I looking for? Or for that user friendliness, again, efficiency, you could type in the meeting that you're looking for. So the meeting I'm looking for is the technical user group. So I knew it stood for TUG, so I was able to type that in, click it, and it's going to lead me to its page. So it'll have information about this call, the calendar, as well as meeting documents as it relates. Again, we are building out still some sections of the website, so we will be adding stuff to that. Another example, so I know what folks will go to is market simulation might be one. So you'll see that it shows up here for me. I can click it, and the same thing, it'll have information that relates to it as we're building it out. So this will be a great feature for you to go and see exactly maybe if you were involved in a specific meeting, how you can find that information rather than having to just look at the calendar. So I do have a few other things I want to show you. Those were the main. I'll show you also just for your awareness up here. So if we go up to the top, you'll see we have portals and applications, release planning, requesting access and certificates, and again, that user access administrator. If we, for example, clicked on release planning, I know folks use this page quite a bit, and it's going to have, again, similar to other pages you've seen on the website, we have upcoming meetings as it relates to release planning. So these will filter to show release planning meetings. We have an on this page feature, which is if you're looking maybe for 2025 releases, you can scroll down and see all of that content as it relates to it. Again, you'll notice different features. It just might be on a different page. That searchability, so you can find a document that you're looking for easily. And then we also have titles that relate to that as well. I do also want to call out under Stakeholder Center, the policy initiatives, recurring processes, and commenting tool will all be the same layout as it is currently. Those are not changing at all. So if you actively use these pages, it'll look identical to what you see today. And then just to show you a couple other layout options, because they are laid out in different ways. If we go to the About Us section, we click on Our Business, for example, you'll see it is spaced out and a little bit more friendly in the sense that you can see what we stand for. You can learn more about our vision, strategy, and cultural values. So you can click Learn More. You'll notice it's interactive in the sense that you can click on things to learn more about it. We have high-level statistics for you to take away. And if we continue to scroll down, you can see more about what we do, who we work with. For example, you can click Learn More and learn about those organizations. And then we also have different sections here. So if you're interested in learning about the evolving grid, you're able to click on that and you can learn more about renewable curtailment, the increased ramping needs, risk of climate change, and so on. And then the last few things I'll show you before we open up for Q&A. For generation and transmission, you'll see different things like generation, resource adequacy. If we click on generation as an example, you'll see that it's categorized by different topics as it relates to generation. So again, very similar, interactive, where you can click on the designated topic that maybe you're looking for, whether it be storage, new resource implementation, metered subsystems. You can click on those and it'll bring you more information about that topic. I did see a question in the chat about where today's Outlook is. So it is on the home screen as well as under Markets and Operations. So you go to that section and you'll be able to click today's Outlook to be brought there. You'll also find under Markets and Operations things like outages, settlements, market monitoring. We can click on outages as an example. If it lets me. There we go. And you'll be able to click through and you can see again on this page is a great starting point for you to look at, okay, what is on outages page? What can I find that is related to outages, whether it be related ISO tariff and BPMs, application access, curtailment, and so on. And then the last section, again, just to show you, is that legal regulatory. If we were to click on business practice manuals, for an example, it'll pull up like this, where you see the library as well as that change management. So you'll click on those, and these will look very similar to how they did on the previous website, as well as upcoming meetings that relate to the BPM. So you'll see we have comments, request revision, and then if you keep scrolling, you can learn more about the process, appeals, and other details that relate to this page. So I do want to pause here now. So we have a stopping point of around 15, 20 minutes to talk about the questions you might have and how we can help you. I'll pass it over to you, Mo, to see what questions we have, and we can start the discussion.
Thank you, Dottie. We've got quite a few questions that came in. I'll go ahead and start off with Grant's question. Grant's question was essentially asking where he could find the documentation related to the changes in this training. I went ahead and posted the training documentation along with the crosswalk document that Dottie covered earlier. The next question came from Chun Yu. She asked, will the archive from today's website be moved to the new website? The answer is yes, the archive will be moved to the new website. The next one is from Joanne Bradley. Will the initiative recent documents be included here as well on the current site? Recent documents for initiatives are posted separately. The answer to that one is it will remain the same for this launch. Next question came from Kathleen. Her question was, is there any way to set up the website to have the folders in reverse year or year-month order rather than out-of-order date order? The answer to that one is yes, the folders will be cleaned up and put in chronological order. We had another question that asked, is it possible to filter or download the calendar as a CSV? And the response to that one is it is not available. However, your suggestions will be put in a list for us to review for prioritization for future releases. So thank you for that suggestion. And I believe Dottie did go over where the location of today's Outlook resides. We did get another question from Tanisha, and her question was, where will we be able to access the acronym library, and will it be easily searchable? And the response to that one is yes, the glossary has been updated to have the ability to search for terms. I'm going to go ahead and see if any of our SMEs have anything else to add in addition to that. I want to go ahead and turn that over to our SMEs.
No, I don't have anything else to add on that.
Mo, if you're talking, you may be on mute.
I apologize. We have a few more questions. David's question was, has today's Outlook page changed?
It has not. It's still in the same place. It has all the same information as before. The page layout may look slightly different, but otherwise it's completely the same.
Thank you, Stacy. And then a couple more questions, or great questions. These are great questions that are coming in. The next question is from David Francis. Are there any instances using CAPTCHA or human verification in the new website? Stacy or Tosh?
I'll have to let Tosh take that one.
This is Siddhartha here. We do have challenge mechanisms imposed on the various forms on the website. It's not CAPTCHA at this point, but a different mechanism to ensure bot control. but in future, we'll monitor and update as needed.
Thank you, Sudhakar. The next question is from Barbara. Barbara asks, can you show me where the CAISO payment calendar is now located? Dottie, can you show that on the calendar or on the website?
Yes, and just to confirm, I believe it's under settlements. But also we have these pages also in our crossword walk. So if we're unable to find it right off the bat right here, oh, the payment calendar is what we're looking for?
Yes, perfect.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, perfect, yeah. So just as a recap, market and operations, settlements, and then you'll see payment calendars right here.
Perfect, thank you, Dottie. And then next question, it comes from Joshua. Will the recordings of the meeting be in the calendar item or a separate section? Will the recordings of the meeting be in the calendar item or a separate section? Joshua,
Do you mean like
elaborate?
this particular meeting?
I was thinking mostly the training, so this one and any other upcoming training, sometimes those have been housed on the training site, not necessarily in the calendar itself, and it made it easy to get to in the training site.
Yes, and we will be posting the videos from the training still to our training center. It'll look very similar, so you'll see here, for example, I click to training center, I click the topic that it's related to, so releases and initiatives, and you'll see resource operations readiness, that battery performance expectations. We have the video and the presentation, just like how we have similar on our current website.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. We do have 3 more questions. I do see another hand raised as well. Let's go ahead and finish off with the questions in the chat. From Alexander, can you demo clicking your way to the RIMS portal?
Yes, and I did just do that a little bit ago. So Alexander, if you needed to view it again, I'm happy to send me a message.
Perfect. Next question comes from David Francis. Please provide a list of the bot-controlled pages or data, if that's possible.
Maybe understand what is the purpose of that request.
David, do you want to elaborate on your question or request? We can also follow up if need be. We can follow up with you, David, after today's call and share that with everyone as well.
I'm sorry. I think I was double
Oh,
muted.
go
Can you
ahead.
guys hear me now? Yeah. So Dave
Yes, we can
Francis,
hear you.
VP. Now, just in the spirit of transparent stuff, if you're going to tell us that you want to control it on the main side and want us to do it through the developer side or through another API request, something, it'd be just good to know how you want it controlled, where and why. So I was just poking around the website this morning and ran into one that seemed not quite inappropriate, but it seemed like it was a bit of a reach. That's why I'm asking. Thanks.
Okay, still don't have full clarity, David. Well, maybe we can follow up on this one offline.
Yeah, I'll drop a note to the client rep.
Absolutely. Sounds good. Thanks, David. And thanks, Sudhakar. And then one more question, and then we'll pass this over to Grant as well, because I know, Grant, you have your hand raised. Tanisha's follow-up question was regarding the access of the glossary, and I believe Stacy posted a note on there stating that the glossary can be accessed in the footer just as it is in the current site. Tanisha, let us know if that helps answer your question. Let us know in the chat. Also, I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Grant. Grant, I know you have your hand raised. Go ahead and unmute and state your question.
Great. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes.
Fantastic. Cool. I just wanted to get a little bit of clarification. I had chatted with Indu, and she had forwarded me over to one of the project leads. I had gotten previous information that document URLs embedded on the specific CAISO website pages will not be changing, but some of those page URLs will be. The navigation paths in this crosswalk document are really handy, but do you have insight into what the new URLs will look like or when those will be available? It sounded like earlier in the presentation, the new website will be taking over the current CAISO URL after that redirect period or whatnot. But I just wanted to confirm if those new URLs were available anywhere yet, or when those would be kind of posted and accessible to test.
Thank you, David. Do any of our SMEs or subject matter experts have anything to add to that?
There will be redirects implemented, as you already mentioned. So we'll make sure all the existing URLs that is currently available on the current website is functional and redirects to an appropriate page on the new website. So that mapping will be taken care of. And I think there is going to be a document shared with the users as well as to provide kind of a mapping. But let me double check that and confirm that. The second point, I'm just not 100% sure. We can follow up on that.
Sure, no problem. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, guys.
Thank you, Sudhakar, and thank you, Grant. We'll follow up with you on that question and share that with everyone. At this time, I don't see any additional questions in the chat. I do want to give you guys some time to see if you have any questions. You want to raise your hand, go ahead and use that icon. Going to give you a couple seconds. If not, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Dottie. Dottie, back to you.
Of course. Thank you so much, Mo. And great questions. And like I said at the beginning, we will be putting all these questions in a knowledge article that we'll send out, as well as the questions that are asked in our later session on the 29th. We'll add those to it as well, so you'll have that available. And we also have we've written down our follow-up items, so we'll follow up with you. So the last section today that we're going to talk about is just wrap up. So recapping kind of what we just discussed, as well as showing you a few other things. So we will be posting some computer-based training, so you can do self-paced. That dives a little bit deeper into different aspects of the new website. So folks who weren't able to attend either of the training, and instead of maybe watching the recording right away, they might just want to feel around and look at things. They'll be able to click on those. We'll also have the crosswalk document posted, as well as on our previous website. It'll be on our new website with the presentation and recording. And again, as we get feedback and we work through this, we can update the crosswalk to include other pages if necessary. So the last section, just to also throw out there, is you will be getting an email today after today's session, and it's going to contain a link just to let us know how we did. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes, and it's just going to help us improve our training for the future. And we've included the information here, as well as the email that we'll send out to you with the instructor, the training course, and all of that detail. And then the last thing, I want to thank you so much for your participation. Y'all asked really great questions, and it helped us get those written down and make sure we get those answered. As I mentioned, we will be posting the recording to this training to our Learning Center, whether it be this afternoon or tomorrow morning. We'll get that posted. The slides are already posted, and again, if we update those, we will let you know. If you have any questions about the training content, please reach out to Customer Readiness. And then if you have any questions specifically about the site or the website or pages, I'll direct you to please submit a city ticket or the Contact Us submission. That way we can get you directed to the appropriate subject matter expert. So again, in all, thank you so much for your morning. I'm so glad I got to start my training day today with you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.